This gospel reading really is challenging to me. And the reason that it's challenging is because I ask myself, do I want anything as badly as that widow wants justice? I see this widow wanting justice so much that she stalks the judge. You know, he gets up in the morning and is going out of his house, and there she is. Give me justice. I see him going out to eat. There she is, bugging him. Give me justice. I see him on the street going through marketplaces, and she following him and saying, give me justice. And the Bible, the parable says, even though he doesn't respect God or man, which is the exact opposite of the two great commandments of loving God and neighbor, he decides to give her what she wants because she just wears him down, and she's afraid that he will strike him. Actually, it says give him a black eye. And so the question is, will we ask? I don't know. There was the saint that we celebrated this week, Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque, who was the promoter of the Sacred Heart of Jesus devotion, once had a vision, and Jesus was telling her, I have so many graces and blessings to give to people if they but ask. But no one seems to want to ask. They'd rather do it on their own. And so as I reflected on my prayers and what I asked for, it usually falls into three categories. The world, which I always do, and I'm sure you do too. We pray for the world peace. We pray for some conflict somewhere, which is always happening. We pray for the healing when there's some sort of natural disaster. And so it's kind of foremost on our mind. It comes up, we pray for it, and then it kind of goes away. Likewise, the second category is the praying for others. You know, our loved ones, something happens and they have a health incident, and so then we make it a point to pray for them. And that comes and goes. And then the third part is ourselves. Just like the widow, I want my justice. And so then I was like, okay, what do we pray for ourselves for? And part of me, I like to listen to other people's homilies, and one preacher said, well, what have you prayed for throughout your life? Go back and reflect. What is it that you prayed at each stage of your life? And as I did so, I was kind of humiliated for about what I asked for. You know, when I was young, I asked for toys. And then later on, was in a junior high school, I prayed that I got a good grade on some exam. And then later on, a little more serious, I prayed whether or not he should be a priest or get married. And after that, nothing really. I look at what I pray for, and yeah, I prayed to be a saint or prayed to overcome a sin or something, but nothing with the fervor of the widow. Jesus is wanting us to ask. He's wanting us so that he can show his beneficence, so that he can show us how wondrous he is. He just is begging us to give gifts. He's doing that so that we know that we rely only on him, that we need him, and be humble enough to ask. And then when he does answer our prayers, because after all, he makes the point that if God will answer, or if this judge will answer this widow, how much more will God, who actually does love us, answer our prayers speedily? And when he does, can we recognize, give praise and thanks to God for what he has answered us? And after he answered us, then it's a mark of faith that we can say, okay, if he has helped us in this situation, he will help us in the next and forevermore. I recently saw a small video from the actor Jim Carrey. And he was on some sort of TV program promoting his movie, and all the rest of the actors in the movie were there. And he tells a story that in second grade, his Irish teacher said that we should pray to Mary. And she always prays to Mary, and she always promises something in return, and all her requests are always answered. And so Jim thought, hey, this sounds good. And the rest of the audience laughed with him. But then he says, okay, well, I put it to the test. I prayed for a bike. And so 2 weeks later, he goes home, and there in his living room is a brand new bike. He says, well, whose is this? And his parents told him, it's yours. You won it in a raffle. And he said, well, I never entered a raffle. Well, it comes out that one of his friends put his name in this raffle, and they pulled it, and he won. And from that time on, he had a devotion to Mary. For all of us, we need to pray for ourselves, to remind ourselves that we've asked the Lord for whatever it is that we need. And as we pray for this, he will not be slow to answer our prayers. And in that response, we can give praise and thanks and grow our faith. Jesus says, will there be any faith left on earth when he arrives? There will, if we continually to ask him for help. The question really is, will we ask?